Joining us now is John, and we are at Titan Medical Center. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you for coming here. I appreciate it.
From the moment I walked through the threshold, I knew that this place was magical and something special, from all the furnishings and the floor, but mostly the people, right? How did you create this? How did you create Titan Medical Center? What does it mean to you?
It was, I guess, just a dream and a concept of what I was going to do. Actually, you know, when I seen certain things, it was like I knew it was going to happen. So, you know, I got my wife on board because she was in the medical field at that point. And at that point, we started putting things together and just going through all the trials and tribulations to get to where we've become today. And at that point, it's been a long road. Definitely a lot went into it, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of sacrifice. You know, we started Titan Medical Center with $2,000, our last tax return check.
I know, that's fascinating to me. So you had $2,000 at your last tax check return,
Yep.
and you're like, well, what are we going to do?
Right.
And you just went for it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was there.
Okay.
You know, I don't know, it was just kind of like, you know, when you told me like one night, you know, you just got downloaded.
Yes, I get it.
It was,
right.
It was clear as day to me.
Lovely.
So, you know, it was really, really cool. You know, Sharice, she really didn't understand in the beginning or think it was a good idea. A lot of people didn't think it was a good idea, from our parents to everybody else. And at that point, I knew it was. So, you know, we just continued on, didn't worry about what anybody else said. And just worked by patient. We didn't have any money for advertising or anything like that. I think the first advertising thing we did was maybe a couple months down the road. We financed a Hummer that had 100,000 miles on it.
Okay.
And I knew it was going to wrap it because we were in Trinity, which is like 45 minutes from Tampa. Back then, there was no telemedicine. So patients were flying in from Tampa Airport and driving 45 minutes. But we had current patients around this area that had to drive a long, lengthy way to get to us. So at that point, you know, we moved out of Trinity because we had somewhere where we could rent by day, by week, by month. And at that point, the guy that was running that practice, you know, his niece needed a place to practice. She just got out of med school. So they were like, hey, listen, you got to go. And they were super nice. I mean, you know, I give them, you know, a lot of credit for helping us, you know, become what we are today too, just setting up some of the different things and giving us that space, you know, and being able to do that.
To start as entrepreneurs.
It was.
So you had like this vision, you're
Yep.
starting out, we all start somewhere. And I think that's the interesting thing too, is entrepreneurs, is that it's just in the doing. It's the next right yes.
Yes.
Day by day. And the next right yes for all of your patients and your clients, right?
Absolutely.
So what is it that you love best about helping people? What is it that you actually do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so we change people's lives.
Okay.
You know, that's what we do, and the biggest gratification would be a patient saying, "You've changed my life for the better," like, or see the transformation they've done, like maybe 80 or 100 pounds they've lost, or 50 pounds. Whether just accomplishing whatever their dream and goal is, that's what we're here to do. With health as the #1 priority. When we got into this, the real reason that we wanted to start this was, one, we wanted to let everybody know about what was going on with hormones and be able to blood
So
check,
misunderstood, right? The whole hormone situation, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Even back in 2011, you said that, you know, people were like, oh, too much testosterone, you're going to kill yourself, this or this or this or that. Nobody really understood it.
Yeah, no,
So,
I wouldn't even say too much testosterone. It was testosterone in general.
okay.
In general, like back then, especially, you know, through the years, it's gotten a lot better. There's more education out there. There's been more studies out there. There's more clinical data, and you know, we know that, listen, testosterone's safe to use now as far as that goes. So a consultation with our medical provider is going to be 30 to 45 minutes. So you have a long amount of time to be able to talk to the provider, be comfortable with the provider, talk about what the problems are, them talk about what the solutions could be, and then how they could help you. So that's really the true difference right there. It's the patient experience all the way through and through. I think, you know, with that, you know, the other thing is that if a patient wants to contact us and they have a problem, or they want to give us positive feedback, or they have a question, they can call, text, email, they get a response right away.
Okay, that's very important. So your customer service, your patient relationship is
Absolutely.
vital.
Yep.
Well, stay tuned, because up next, we're going to be joined by Sharice. Cherise, I just got a chance to sit down and talk to John, but I want to know from like the female perspective, all of the different services you have. So we were talking about men and men menopause is one thing, right? Female menopause, a lot of times people didn't even talk about it back in the day, right?
Right.
But you have all of these wonderful services for both men and women, but in particular, what's really nice is I saw that you can help like reignite romance.
You know that's important, right? The bedroom.
Very important.
Yes.
It's extremely important. You know, as we age, that intimacy, that ability to connect with another human, right, is really valued, and so often forgotten about.
It is,
and
especially when you get busy.
It destroys relationships because you're not having that level of human touch, human connection anymore.
Right.
How have you seen that develop along in your practice, like helping women be their best?
Well, I think for starters that getting your hormones balanced is going to be first off.
Okay.
That plays a huge role because we can give you guys all the libido enhancers in the world, and it just doesn't really fix the core of the issue.
Okay.
When we hit menopause as females, we truly do get dry downstairs. That can also cause some libido issues and some issues in the bedroom. Testosterone levels being low for females because we also have testosterone. I think that some people forget that we have testosterone too.
They don't realize it. Yes.
We don't need as much as guys do, but we do need a little bit. Okay. And that testosterone does indeed control libido. So those two things play a huge role in itself, is just making sure your hormones are balanced. Outside of that, we have PT141. It's an injectable and a nasal spray. That one's a really good one for the bedroom. I actually tried that one myself.
Good to know.
I tried all of them myself. Me and John are the guinea pigs, so we try everything to make sure that we can hoorah, all the therapies. So the PT141 though was really, really good, and it does make you feel like you can truly connect. It's one that was made for females in particular for libido enhancement. Because they forget about us females, that we need some help in the bedroom too. Not just the guys. For the guys, they got Viagra, Cialis. I mean, they just keep on going with all these different variations. But for the females, it's important too.
And does that onboarding start with blood work as well?
Yes, typically it will have, we will tell patients to get blood work done just to get a baseline reading. We do have some therapies that don't require any blood work. So some people, for example, us females, is we're the best projects, but some of us are eager, right? We want to lose weight, and we're like, I don't want to get blood work done. I just want to hop on some weight loss therapies, and I want to hit the gas and run with it. There's an avenue to go down. However, it's nice to have a baseline reading on females so we can see what's going on. And you can be 25, 35, 45, 55. It doesn't matter what age you are, because we're seeing hormonal imbalances in all types of patients. Using myself as an example.
Okay.
I have endometriosis. I didn't know until we opened up Titan Medical Center that I had high estrogen levels that was fueling my endometriosis growth. It was causing me to have a laparoscopy every 2 years. And that's not a way to live, and it's not a way to live in pain. But when we opened Titan Medical Center, I ran my own hormones. We did our own test trials on me and literally saved my own life.
And you had a medical background.
Yeah.
Right. So John came to us with a sports background and a fitness background and things like that. You came in with a medical background. You kind of blended together.
It was
and
a good mix.
It is a good mix. You guys have such great energy together. So when I was going through your brochure too, it's not. It's so much, it's comprehensive, it's overall wellness and things of that nature. But what I thought was really interesting too is you can service people nationwide through telemedicine.
Yep.
How does telemedicine work with Titan Medical Center? Tell us how it works. How can people get involved?
So it's actually super easy.
Okay.
It's never been easier. You just literally call up, we'll send you for blood work, because if you do want blood work, you can go nationwide.
Okay.
And typically there's a lab within a 5 to 10 mile radius, and you just get your prepaid lab slip in your email, go in to the lab, get the lab work done. We get the results in about 2 to 3 business days. As soon as we get the results back, we call you, hey, we got these results in, here's a sneak peek of the labs, give you a little bit of background, you fill out your paperwork, boom, we schedule your telemedicine visit. Typically you can get in within a first couple days. Get you scheduled, and then you meet with the provider on telemedicine. It's recorded face-to-face, and after that, the pharmacy sends it directly to your house. It really doesn't get any easier than that. It really doesn't. And you don't have to even leave your house to do your visit.
Right. Now, sometimes people, entrepreneurs that I've visited with over the course of time, and it's like a couple, and they're running the business together. How do you divide your business life from? Do you make time for dates? That's what I want to know. Do you have date time sometimes?
I'll be honest with you. So I feel as though because we're so intertwined, we really don't leave each other's side. And luckily, we don't want to kill each other. Thank goodness. He stands me, really, is what the truth behind that is. But it does intertwine, and it does meet the bedroom after hours, and that's what we end up talking about. But we do have one thing that we do. It's
Yes.
very important and special.
Yes.
But it's every Thursday for the whole time we've been together. We go to the movies.
Oh, wow.
And then we have a movie night. We don't miss it unless there's a baseball game, of course,
Right.
but then we make up for it on the weekend. But it's
Lovely.
our time, and we love the movies. We're movie buffs. But it's a good time where we can just really enjoy each other's time. You can't be on your phone because it's super rude to do in a movie.
Right.
And just enjoy each other and, kind of just enjoy the movie. And we haven't missed a week up to date.
Oh, that's absolutely
It's
amazing.
important.
So it's those rituals, it's those little tiny things that you do for one
It's
another.
important.
And the friendship, like I said, the culture here is really wonderful. From the moment I walk through the threshold, people are friendly, people are kind. It's a whole entire thing. So it's like Titan is the way to be.
Well, we wanted to make a culture out of it. So it wasn't just a medical center. It's a lifestyle. It's being part of a family. Because even people, believe it or not, people that knew us 10 years ago, and let's say they may not even be a patient anymore for whatever reason that is, they know they can still contact us whenever they want. They can reach out and ask questions. We're here for them forever.
And speaking of lifestyle brand, you also have cool clothes.
Yeah.
I want to get a couple of
I make a joke all
Yes.
the time, and I say that John was in his prior life, he was a fashion designer, and I was a bird.
Right.
But, he was a fashion designer in his prior life because he came out with all these cool outfits. I mean, all the leggings, the onesies, and everything. You would think that a man couldn't come up with all these cool things and still be so alpha. But he's happened to just manage that.
I'm Donna Drake. We're living it up right here at Titan Medical Center.